Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on reasoning ability for your upcoming IBPS RRB mains exam brought to you by TalentSprint and Grade Up Together. I hope all of you are doing well, you are healthy and your preparation for this mains exam is in high gear. Well, I would also like to mention that while these sessions are being named as specific to IBPS RRB mains exam, the type of questions that we discuss will be useful for all the upcoming bank exams, right? Because the syllabus is largely the same, be it IBPS RRB main examination or the IBPS clerks exam or RBI assistants exam or the IBPS PO mains exam. The type of topics which are covered in the syllabus, the kind of questions on which you are tested are on the same lines. Right, so I'm sure these sessions would be helpful to not just those who have cleared the RRB preliminary examination, but also for all those who are planning to appear in any of the bank exams in the near future. All right, and like you all know, while the RRB exams are scheduled on the 5th and 12th of November, we have RBI assistants exam coming up on 27th of November, followed by IBPS clerks preliminary examination from the 2nd of December, right? And yes, recently the IBPS SO notification was also released, notification for specialist officers in 6 different posts. I think IT officers, agricultural field officer, law officers, Rajbhasha Adhikari, and the HR officers, and I guess marketing officers. So that exam is also scheduled at the for the end of the year, 30th and 31st of December, and I'm sure the questions that we discuss here will be useful. The concepts that we cover here will be useful for even the specialist officers examination. All right, and yes, before I get into the session, you must be aware that the SSC CGL Tier 1 exam results for 2017 have been declared. I hope all those who had appeared have qualified. Well, hoping that all those who have appeared have qualified is impractical because all cannot qualify, but yeah, I hope the best ones have got a call for the next round, right? And you are one among them is what I wish, right? If you have successfully cleared the preliminary examination or the Tier 1 exam for SSC CGL, please do let us know through the survey that we are conducting, and we will help you with your preparation for the main examination, okay? Now, back to what are we supposed to do today. Today is a session which is planned on reasoning ability for the RRB mains examination, right? Both office assistants as well as officers clerks. Okay, office assistants as well as officers scale 1. Now, this refresher series for the main examination, like I've mentioned, has been brought to you by TalentSprint and Grade Up, and this is session number 2 as a part of the series. We have already done one session on quantitative aptitude a couple of days back, and today's session will be on reasoning. What are we going to do in the session today? Questions chosen by Grade Up, right, based on how their students have performed in various mock tests that they have conducted will be solved here, right? Some of the questions. So I think the next 1 hour we will be spending on solving about 10 to 12 questions covering various concepts of reasoning ability, right? And there is one more session planned day after tomorrow, which is the 2nd of November, and that is going to be on English language, which will be taken up by Sylvia, right? So that's about this refresher series. I think we are good to start now. I can see that a lot of you have joined the chat already and joined the session, so thank you all for joining us. I hope you will enjoy the session. If there are any queries or questions that are relevant to what is being discussed, please feel free to post it through the chat and I would love to address the same. And without wasting any more time, let me quickly present the first question to you, all right? So the first question that we are going to solve today is a kind of floor puzzle. Now, you know that floor-based puzzles have gained importance and prominence in these bank exams in the recent past, right? Be it IBPS or SBI or a PO or a clerical or a specialist office exam, we get questions on floor-based puzzles. So I think we had decided to solve one on floor-based puzzle, where I think it's not really a floor-based puzzle, but a vertical sort of arrangement, right? I mean, instead of floors here, we've got 8 different boxes numbered 1 to 8, and these are of different colors and they've got different weights. So basically a kind of complex assignment involved in a linear arrangement, right? That's the concept. So I'll present the question to you all, give you about 5 minutes to try it yourself, and then discuss the solution for the same. Okay, so if you're all set, we can get started, right? Yeah, I think all of you are ready. What our floor-based puzzle is what Ravneet has asked. Now Ravneet will discuss a kind of floor-based puzzle, not really floors, boxes which have to be arranged vertically. So let's quickly get started. The first question from the session today on a floor-based puzzle is on your screen now. So you can see here's the question. Let me quickly read this out for all of you, then give you some time to try it yourself. So study the information given below and answer the questions based on it. So this is usually a 5 marks question. This is usually a 5 marks question, and you can easily answer the 5 questions asked along with it once you have done the arrangement properly, right, or the puzzle properly. So see what it talks about. 8 boxes numbered 1 to 8 placed from top to bottom, where box number 1 is at the top and box number 8 is at the bottom. So 8 boxes, 1 to 8, number 1 is at the top, number 8 is at the bottom. They are from different colors. They are of different colors basically: red, blue, pink, brown, orange, black, white and green, but not necessarily in the same order. And their weights are 8 kgs, 9 kgs, 11 kgs, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 22, but again not in the same order, not necessarily in the same order. And from here onwards are various clues given to us. Box number 6 is pink color and its weight is a multiple of 3. 2 boxes are between pink box and blue box and so on. So using this information here, in fact, using all the information given here, you got to arrange these 8 boxes, find out the color of each of the boxes and the weight of each of the box. Once you're done with it, you can easily bag 5 marks in the next 30 seconds by quickly running through the questions. So I'll give you 5 minutes for this, or let's start solving it, and then based on your responses, we'll see how much time it needs. The clock starts now. And I hope all of you get 5 on 5 for this question, because this to me seems to be an easy one, right? So give it a sincere try. Your clock has already started for this sort of floor-based puzzle from reasoning. All right, I can see that some of you have cracked this already. Waiting for more responses. Time is short, so I would urge you all to solve this first, and then later on you can do the general discussion, right? Maybe towards the end of the session. Done? Yeah, many others have joined the group now. Let's see who all have cracked it. One more minute before we start discussing this one, right? I'm sure it's an easy one. The only thing I would like to see is that all of you have got the answer and the right answers, right? Right arrangement. Yeah, some of you have also posted the solution, so we can get started. All right, so I can see that a lot of you have finally done this one, and some of you, like I've mentioned, have already posted the arrangement or the sequence as well, right? The number of the box, the color, and the weight of the box there, right? So this is a typical example of a, not really a floor-based puzzle, but something similar to that. And given the size of the question, I assume it is easy, and it should not be taking more than 3 minutes. Ideally, you should be able to crack it in about 3 to 4 minutes. And once you are done with the puzzle, you can easily answer the 5 questions asked. So what I'll do now is solve this for you, and let's see if you have got the right answer. Okay, so let me just take it up. Here we go. Okay, so here's the question. I've got some space for me to work here. See what it says. Study the information given below and answer the questions based on it. So you can see that this first question here, but let us first do the arrangement. So it says 8 boxes numbered 1 to 8 are placed from top to bottom, where box number 1 is at the top and box number 8 is at the bottom. So basically it's talking about 8 boxes which are numbered 1 to 8. Box number 1 is at the top and number 8 is at the bottom. So you know that immediately you got to arrange the boxes in this fashion, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the numbers of the boxes, and this is fixed. Number 1 is at the top, number 8 is at the bottom. So quickly put that in the sequence. Now they are of different colors: red, blue, pink, brown, orange, black, white, and green. So 8 colors have been given to us, but not necessarily in the same order, and their weights are 8, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 22. So 8 different colors and 8 different weights have been mentioned here. Okay, now look at the data. First clue: box number 6 is pink in color and its weight is a multiple of 3. So box number 6 is pink in color, straight. Box number 6 is pink in color and its weight is a multiple of 3. Its weight is a multiple of 3. Now look at the numbers and find out which are the multiples of 3. 8 is not a multiple of 3. 9 is a multiple of 3. 11, 14 are not the multiples of 3. 15 is a multiple of 3. And 16, 17, 22 are not multiples of 3. So I think box number 6, which is pink in color, can either be 9 kgs heavy or 15 kgs heavy, right? Its weight is a multiple of 3. So either 9 or 15, right? Done with that point. Now 2 boxes are between pink and blue box. The next statement says there are 2 boxes between pink and blue. Now see, if there are 2 boxes between pink and blue, you cannot take blue below pink, because below pink we have only 2 boxes available, and blue cannot come beyond this, right? Beyond box number 8. So blue has to go above pink. You're getting it? So if there are 2 boxes between blue and pink, box number 3 will be the blue box. You see, 4 and 5 are between blue and pink now. Okay, what is the weight of the blue box is not known to us. That we'll find out. Now brown box weight is twice of red box. Now this is interesting. The weight of brown box is twice of red box. So basically it says brown is equal to 2 times of red. Brown is equal to 2 times of red. Now try and observe the numbers given here and find out what are the possible values. Like for example, let's say assume red is 8 kgs. Red is 8. So what should be brown? 2 times of 8, 16. Is 16 available? Yes, 16 is available. So 8 and 16 can be one combination, right? If it is 8, brown can be 16, right? What is the other possibility? 9. If it is 9, red is 9, brown should be 18, but 18 is not there at all. So 9 is ruled out. 11, 22, yes. So we are finding out, values which are, 2 values where one is twice of the other. So 11 and 22 is the other set, right? So if red is 11 kgs, brown will be 22 kgs. 11 times 2, 22, right? 14 doubles becomes 28, but we don't have anything more than 22 at all. So 14, 15, 16, 17 all are ruled out. So I think the only possible pairs are 8 and 16, 11 and 22, which means if red is 11, brown would be 22. If red is 8, then brown would be 16. Nothing much can be extracted here, and this data is not useful immediately, so let's just move on, right? Move to the next point. Brown box is just above the orange box. Now this is an interesting point. Brown box is just above the orange box. So which means if brown is here, orange will be immediately below brown. Yes or no? These two are consecutive boxes. Brown box is just above the orange box. Now try to fix it. See, there are multiple possibilities. We know that brown and orange will come together. Now they can come in 7, 8, they can come in 4, 5, they can come in 1, 2. There are 3 possibilities. Now trying out all the 3 makes no sense. So let's move forward and find out some better clue. You're able to follow. Brown and orange can take 7, 8 respectively, can take 4, 5 respectively, or can take 1 and 2 respectively. Yeah, but why to put out all the 3 possibilities? Let's just move to the next point, right? Black box is heavier than brown box, but lighter than orange box. Now this is interesting. Black box is heavier than brown box, but lighter than orange box. Lighter than orange box. Now, point is, interesting point. I think this will help us in eliminating one possibility. He says black box is heavier than brown box. Just consider this part. Black box is heavier than brown box. Now assume that brown box is 22 kgs. Black box should be heavier than 22. Is there any weight which is heavier than 22? No. 22 is the heaviest weight that we have here. You're getting it? Now, since black is supposed to be heavier than brown, we can say that brown cannot be 22 kgs. Because if brown is 22, black should be more than 22. And more than 22 value does not exist here. So brown cannot be 22. If brown cannot be 22, red cannot be 11. So it is confirmed that red is 8 and brown is 16. It is now confirmed that red is 8 and brown is 16. Now, if brown is 16, what will be black? Black can be 17 or 22. Why 17 or 22? Because black should be heavier than brown. Black should be heavier than brown. So heavier than 16, we have 17 and 22 both. However, the other thing that we know is black box, while it is heavier than brown box, it should be lighter than orange box. It should be lighter than orange box, which means orange should be heavier than black. You're able to follow? There are 2 possible values for black box now. Black box can either be 17 kgs or 22 kgs. But if you, again, the same problem. If you take black box as 22 kgs heavy, orange box cannot be assigned any value because orange box is supposed to be heavier than black. You're able to follow? You're able to follow. Red is 8, which is fixed. Brown is 16 is fixed. Black is heavier than brown. So heavier than 16 are 17 or 22. But orange should be heavier than black. See, black box is lighter than orange, which means orange is heavier than black. If you take black as 22 kgs, orange will not have a value available for itself. So black cannot be 22. Black cannot be 22. Black has to be 17. And if black is 17, it is obvious that orange is going to be 22. Orange is going to be 22 because orange is supposed to be heavier than 17. And the only value which is heavier than 17 here is 22. It looks a little clumsy here, but I think you have understood, right? We are trying to fix up the values of these boxes. So very clearly, orange is supposed to be 22. Okay. So now I can say that brown is 16 and orange is 22. And these two come together. Yeah, wherever they come. Next, red box is placed at the top. Red is placed at the top. Very straight. Red is placed at the top. I also know the color for red, 8 kgs. So fix that as well. Red is 8 kgs. Next, box 4 is green box and its weight is 11. Box 4 is green box and its weight is 11. This also is fixed. Green and 11. Done. Now, if you observe, we know that brown and orange have to come together. See, one of our earlier points was brown and orange have to come together. The only 2 consecutive positions available now are brown and orange, 7 and 8. Yes or no? They cannot come elsewhere. So brown has to take 7th position. Orange will take 8th position. And the weights will be 16 and 22. 16 and 22. So this part is done. Yeah. Okay, next. The sum of box 5 and box 6 is 29. Now this is an interesting point. The sum of box 5 and box 6 is 29. Box 5 and box 6. The sum of these two should be 29. Understand? Sum of box 5 and box 6 should be 29. Now, we know that box 6 is either 9 kgs or 15 kgs. Sum of these two, 5 plus 6, meaning the weight of box 5 plus weight of box 6 should be 29. If box 6 is 9, box 5 should be 20. If box 6 is 15, box 5 should be 14. Yes or no, respectively. So 20 plus 9, 29, 14 plus 15, 29. Yes or no? If pink is 9, if 6th box is 9 kgs, 5th box should be 20 kgs. Only then the sum can be 29. This last point here, sum has to be 29 kgs. If sixth box is 15 kgs, then fifth box has to be 14 kgs. Only then the sum can be 29. However, if you look at the values that we have, 20 kgs does not exist at all. We have 17 and then we immediately have 22. We do not have 20 kgs. So box 5 cannot be 20. If box 5 cannot be 20, box 6 cannot be 9. Because 20 and 9 will make it 29, right? If this is not 20, then this cannot be 9. 14 and 15 is a possible value because 14 is available. You see, 14 kgs is available. So it is, the only possibility is fifth box is 14 kgs, sixth box is 15 kgs. And 14 plus 15 will make it 29. Yes or no? 14 plus 15 will make it 29, right? Now, I think what are the other points that we know? Red is done, brown is done. Okay, look at this. We know that black box, one another point we have is black box should be 17 kgs. Black box has to be 17 kgs. Yeah. Can black box come here? Okay, hold on. Yeah, orange 22 is also done, right? Now, the one point that is left is black box has to be 17 kgs. Can black come in fifth position? No, because fifth position is blocked for 14 kgs box. So the only availability is second position. Black box comes in second position and 17 kgs is the weight. Yeah, and we also know that, okay, what else do we know? One color and one weight has to be fixed, right? Blue, do we know the color of blue box? No. Acha, one color, only one color and one weight are fixed, so we can just fill up the values directly. I'm wasting our time, right? So which is the only color left out? I think white is the only color left out, right? All the other colors have come. White comes in fifth position. Yes or no? All the other colors have come. And what's the only weight left out? 8, 9, 11, 14. 8 is there, 9 is not there, so 9 comes here. So 8, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 22. Done. That's the arrangement. Now see, do not go by the length of the explanation. It is because I'm explaining it has taken so much of time, right? When you do it yourself or when I do it myself, it wouldn't take so much of time, right? So just follow this process. See, understand that every linear arrangement is different. Every floor-based puzzle is different, right? This was straight, pretty straight, right? We could fill up the values directly, almost directly everywhere. There were one or two possibilities which you could verify in the same diagram, right? And we are done. So that's the final arrangement. Let's look at the answers now. First question, which of the following box is heaviest? Which is heaviest? 22 kgs, right? Which is heaviest? Orange box. So option 3 should be the answer. Okay, let's look at the next question. Okay, I think the arrangement is there on the previous slide, but the question is this: which of the following combination is correct? Okay, which of the following combination is correct? Brown 22, black 17. Let's check. Brown 22. No, brown 22 is not correct. Black 17 is correct, right? Black 17. You see, black 17 is the correct combination. So I think option 2 can be taken as the answer. Black 17. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Which of the following box number is orange box? Orange box. What is the number for orange box? Orange box is number 8. Orange box is number 8. So your answer here will be 8th. Yeah. Next. Which of the following is true regarding the arrangement? Which of the following is true regarding the arrangement? Look at this. Blue box is heavier than black box. You have to just check from the arrangement. Blue is heavier than black. Is it true? Blue is heavier than black? No. Blue is 9 kgs, black is 17 kgs. Blue is not heavier than black. So first option is eliminated. Red box is the lightest box. Is red the lightest box? Just check. Red is 8 kgs. Yes. 8 kgs is the lightest weight that we have, right? And red box is the lightest box. That is correct. So I think option 3 can be taken as the answer. Yeah, red box is the lightest box. Next question. What is the sum of the weight of box 1 and box 3? Easy questions, right? Box 1 and box 3. Box 1 and box 3. Box 1 is 8 kgs. Box 3 is 9 kgs. So sum of these two. Box 1 and box 3. 8 and 9. What is the sum of 8 and 9? 8 and 9 is 13, right? What is the sum of the weight of box 1 and box 3? Sorry, 8 and 9 is 17. I'm sorry. It's not 13. 8 and 9 is 17 kgs. So option 2 is the answer there, right? Option 2. And done. With this, we are done with this 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's about the solution to this question on linear arrangement. And I'm sure all of you must have got 5 on 5 in this particular one, right? I mean, nothing complex about it. You just have to fill up the gaps properly. Okay, but I think point to be noted is that approach is first do one round of reading of all the clues, fix up all that is directly given to you, and then when you read it the second time, you can fill up the missing values. Okay, so try to keep it simple, right? And I would still recommend, while this question was easy, I would still recommend that when you come across such questions in the exam, don't try immediately, right? Don't try it immediately. Always remember, in reasoning there are two types of questions. There are arrangement based questions or puzzles, and then there are other questions. Solve the other questions first, where we have a definite method. See, here there is no definite method. You may or may not be able to solve the question. You're able to follow. While we have got the answer to this one, it depends on how complex the arrangement is, right? How complex the puzzle there is. This was pretty straight, but it need not be straight always. It may look to be simple, but when you start solving it, you may find it to be really time consuming. So a smart person always will solve the other types of questions first, where there is a definite method. For example, coded inequalities. Now, coded inequalities is an important topic from reasoning, and there is a definite method which can be followed to answer any question from this topic. Or for that matter, machine input output, or syllogisms, or directions, or blood relations, alphabet, element series, right? These are some topics where we have a process which can be applied to arrive at the answer. In arrangement, there is no process. I mean, while there is an approach there, but there is no guarantee that you will be able to crack it. So remember, my sincere advice to all of you is that first solve easier questions. Not easier questions, first attempt the questions where there is a definite method, and then come back to the other complex ones, right? I mean, the questions on linear arrangements or circular arrangements, floor-based puzzles, other types of puzzles, grouping-based questions, etc. Right? So keep that in mind, right? Just keep that in mind. Don't solve the question as soon as you see it when it is from any of these topics. Okay. You've got it right. Can we move to the next one now? Rakesh says, sir, please give the explanation in Hindi also. Rakesh, I would be okay teaching it in Hindi as well. The only point is, by default, the medium of instruction is English. So, अगर आप चाहते हैं कि कोई point हिंदी में समझाया जाए, please let me know and I'll do that, right? And I think Avinash has asked a question, right? Cut off कितना होता है? Well, Avinash, cut off कितना होता है ये बता पाना तो मुश्किल है. While I can always talk about last year's cut off, इस बार कट ऑफ कितना होगा कोई नहीं बता सकता है. You understand? You never know. Cut off is not predetermined. Okay, I think we have only 30 more minutes left, so let's quickly move to the next question if you're all clear with this one. Yeah? I hope all of you have got 5 on 5. Should we go for the next question now? I think many of you had been asking about questions on critical reasoning, like assumptions based questions, right? Statements and assumptions, statements in course of action, cause and effect, right? Inferences, arguments, etc. Now these questions are important when it comes to main examinations, right? IBPS main examination or a SBA main examination. So I think we have 3 or 4 questions based on that topic, right? Kind of critical reasoning where these are all perception based questions. Understand, many a times it so happens that when you're solving such questions, you get stuck between 2 options. You feel like, okay, it could be either 2 or 3. You just can't have a definite solution, right? I mean, there is no definite method. There is no definite answer. These are all, like I said, perception based questions. What is your perception? What is your point of view for that particular situation, right? It could be different from what I think, right? Your point of view and mine may not match. So what I would suggest is, even in these kind of questions, when you come across, you should definitely give it a try. I'm not saying that you should not solve these questions, but don't spend too much of time. If you're getting stuck between 2 options, either mark one of those depending on your gut feeling there, or just skip and go to the next one. Don't keep thinking too much about it. All right? And then you'll always find that not always, but many times you'll find that what you think is different from what the examiner thinks. Yeah. So don't get into a kind of argument with yourself or with anyone there for that matter and waste your precious time. Just give it a try. If you are able to eliminate, and elimination is the technique that works here. Remember, I would always say, when you're solving questions on assumptions or course of action or cause and effect or statements and arguments and statements and inferences, try to eliminate the wrong answers. What is right answer would be difficult to find directly, but what are the wrong answers, what are definitely the wrong answers are easier to pick up, right? So just keep that in mind when you appear for your main examination or for any bank or competitive exam. Let me discuss a few questions based on critical reasoning now. So I'll present the next one to you, which is on your screen now. So it says study the following paragraph and answer the given question. So just read the information and answer. It says India doubled the tariff on imported clothing items from China so that they become costlier and the domestic textile manufacturing industry gets a boost. However, the volume of textile imports from China into India remained the same. So there's a situation explained here, right? That India doubled the tariff on imported clothing items from China so that they become costlier and the domestic textile manufacturing industry gets a boost. However, the volume of textile imports from China still remained the same. So which of the following assumption helps in explaining why the volume of import of textile remained unchanged? See, ideally, when you have doubled the importing tariff, imports will reduce, right? People will not import. People will try to buy locally from the same country. But in this case, while the tariff was doubled, the volume remained the same. Volume of imports remained the same. So what could be the reason is the question here. 5 options have been given. Try to eliminate the wrong answers. Like I've said, try to eliminate the wrong answers so that it becomes easier for you to, be left with the right one. So think about this. 1 minute is what you have. Clock starts now. Okay, I see one of the comments here from Thiru Mek is the username. I remember he's a TalentSprint student, right? I have seen him joining in our live sessions many times. So he says, I have cleared the Federal Bank PO mains, how to prepare for GT interview. Please help me to access interview videos. Well, Thiru, at the outset, congratulations for clearing the Federal Bank PO examination. Good job, well done. And yes, we would be more than happy to help you with your next round, which is group discussion interview. Please drop an email to support@talentsprint.com with your registered email ID and your result for the Federal Bank main examination. We will give you the access to interview guidance course immediately. Okay. Now let's discuss this one. Should we? The question on critical reasoning, where you have to find out what could be the assumption behind which can explain that situation. Okay. All right, I think a variety of answers have come in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the options, but I think most of you have marked option 4 as the answer, right? Option 4 as the answer. Some of you have marked option 3, some of you have marked option 1, right? Some of you have marked option 2 as well. So I think I was expecting this. I was sure that there would be a lot of confusion and I'll get a mixed response for this particular question here. So let's start discussing this one. There is no solution, there is no paperwork required. It's all about understanding, because like I said, perception, point of view, right? How do you explain the situation is what matters here. So let me present the slide first and then talk about what has happened here. So you see, it says India doubled the tariff on import clothing items from China. Right? India has doubled the tariff for importing clothes from China so that they become costlier and the domestic textile manufacturing industry gets a boost. However, the volume of textile imports from China into India remained the same. Now you got to understand the situation very clearly, right? And I think this is one topic in reasoning where your reading skills and your comprehension skills play a key role. Right, this is more, I would say this is not just reasoning alone, right? This is reasoning, this is English language test and also a little bit of general awareness, because sometimes you are given situations where it's very difficult to understand, right? This is easy, but I would say sometimes you are presented with a situation where you don't even get the head and tail of it, and it becomes difficult because you don't know about that concept. You have never heard of that concept. So having an understanding of the situation is important. Having an understanding of the language is important, because if you cannot comprehend what is given there, it would be difficult to arrive at the answer. So more than reasoning, I think it's a test of your language skills and your awareness, right? Now what has happened here, he says, read the first statement. He says India has doubled the tariff of imported clothing items from China so that they become costlier and the domestic textile manufacturing industry gets a boost. Now what has happened? You import clothes from China. India imports clothes from China. What did India do? India has doubled the tariff for importing clothes. So if you want to buy clothes from China, you have to import clothes from China, you have to pay double the amount. So if it was costing X rupees earlier, now it will cost 2X rupees. Right? If it was 100 rupees earlier, the same item will cost 200 rupees today. Now, why did the Indian government do so? Government or whatever. Why was this done in India? So that the domestic textile manufacturing industry gets a boost. Now, domestic, what do you mean by domestic? The local textile industry gets a boost. Domestic, right? The Indian textile industry gets a boost. So, the situation kind of tells us that usually people were importing from China and they were selling it in the Indian market. Now, because you increase the cost of imports, it is obvious that imports will reduce. We will not import from China because now the cost has increased. Earlier, maybe the cost was not comparable, right? Earlier, Chinese clothes were cheaper than Indian clothes, but now because the cost has been doubled, the situation is that, the cost will go up, so people will not import. People will buy from the local market, from the domestic market and sell it. So obviously, the local domestic industry will get a boost, right? Their sales will go up. However, read the next point. However, the volume of textile imports from China into India remained the same. Even after increasing the cost, that too by doubling it, the imports remain the same. It was being expected that imports would come down, right? Imports would come down, but then it didn't happen, right? The volume remained the same. Now look at the options. So the question is, which of the following assumptions helps in explaining why the volume of import of textiles remains unchanged? So what do you think could be the reason that the imports remain the same even after increasing the cost, right? Let me explain the options now. The first option says China reciprocated by increasing the tariff of goods imported from India. So first option says that, because India increased the cost of import from China, China also reciprocated. Reciprocated means what? See, this is why I say the language skills are important. If you don't understand what is reciprocated, it will be difficult for you to judge this option, right? Reciprocate. So, behave the way India has done, right? If India has doubled the tariff, China also doubled the tariff. Doubled as in increase the tariff. So, China reciprocated by increasing tariff of goods imported from India. But does it explain the reason of volume remain unchanged? No. China has also increased the cost. Because India has increased the cost of Chinese goods, China has increased the cost of Indian imports. But just because of that, will the volume remain unchanged? No. This does not explain very clearly. So this is eliminated in my view. Look at option 2. Most of the experts agree that clothes made in India are as good as that imported from China. See, this particular option here only explains the situation in India, but that does not explain why the volume of import remained unchanged. Right? Experts believe that clothes in India are as good as those imported from China. If that was the case, why were people buying clothes in India? Why were people not buying clothes from India initially? So this just explains the situation. This is not a proper reason. Look at third. This year, the sale of clothing, apparels and textile products registered a 100% increase over last year. Now this sounds a valid assumption. This looks okay. Why is it so? Because he says this year the sale of clothing and textile products registered a 100% increase over the last year. So basically, I would say this could be the answer. Again, never mark the answer without reading all the 5 options. Just because you have some feeling that option 3 is correct does not mean that you'll mark option 3 as the answer. Eliminate the other options first, right? Read all the options and only then come to a conclusion. Don't jump to the conclusion immediately. Now let me explain you the third option here. So what has happened here is we increase the tariff of imported clothing from China so that imports reduce and domestic market gets a boost. However, the volume of imports remain the same. Why? Because the requirement in our country today, requirement in India registered a 100% increase. So the demand went up by 100%. Because the demand increased by 100%, maybe the local market, local textile manufacturing industry could not meet the demand. And because they did not meet the demand, even at higher cost, people imported goods from China. It explains, this particular option explains the situation. Because the demand has increased, you have to meet the demand. Indian industry could not meet the demand. Now because the Indian industry could not meet the demand, you had to import. And even though the cost was increased on the imported clothing, you had to import. And that is the reason the volume of import did not change. So this somehow explains the situation. Anyway, let's look at fourth option. Fourth option says the cost of manufacturing clothes in India is comparable to the cost of manufacturing them in China from which they are imported. How does this explain? This is only a situation again. This does not explain why the volume should remain unchanged. The cost of manufacturing clothes in India is comparable to the cost of manufacturing them in China from which they are imported. Does this really explain? No. Now I'm sure fourth option would sound correct to many of you, but I feel third one explains it better than fourth one. Right? Because the fourth option says cost in India is comparable to the cost of goods in China. It's comparable to the cost of goods in China. Okay, fine. But why would volume remain the same in that case? Why would volume remain the same? See, it is like this. Let me give you numerical values to explain why fourth one is wrong, right? For people who are believing that fourth one is correct, let me explain you a situation here. Let's compare 2 years, 2016 and 2017. India and China cost, right? I'll make a small table here. Let's assume. Now he says that cost of manufacturing clothes in India is comparable to the cost of manufacturing them in China. So basically, cost in India is almost same as the cost in China. That is the reason the volume remain unchanged. So which means in 2017, if the cost in India was 100, the cost in China was also 100. Yeah, cost of manufacturing clothes in India is comparable to the cost of manufacturing them in China. Now, which means last year the cost of goods in China was 50 rupees because this year the tariff has been doubled. After doubling, the cost has become 100. But there has been no change in Indian market. Last year it was 100, this year also it is 100. China last year it was 50, but this year it has been made 100 because import duty has doubled. But does this really explain the situation that volume still remains same? See, we can say that in 2016, we were importing more from China than from the local market. We were, buying more from China than from India because the cost was less. But in 2017, when the cost has become same, why should you bother of importing from China? You should buy from India itself, right? And if you buy from India itself, why will the imports remain unchanged? Here it says imports remain the same. Does it really explain? No, it doesn't. If the cost is comparable, fine. We should buy only from India. Why will we buy from China? The volume should reduce, the import should reduce, right? There should be some impact if the cost is comparable. So option 4 also doesn't really explain. So that is the reason I rule out option 4. It sounds close to the answer, but that's not really the answer in my view. And look at option 5, the Indian industry increased its production to meet the market demand. This is definitely a negative one. Because if the Indian industry has increased the production, why will we still import from China? Import from China should further reduce. Right? Import from China should further reduce if the Indian industry has actually increased the production to meet the market demand. Right? So I think 1, 2, 4 and 5 are eliminated in my view. And that is the reason I would say option 3 is the correct answer. Option 3 is the correct answer. Right? So I would go for option 3. Now, do not go by the length of the explanation. I'm sure some of you would be feeling that, do we really have to spend so much time in the exam? No. What I was thinking, I had to explain it to you. whatever table and all I had drawn. But when you do it yourself, when you understand the option very well, you know, right? It is easier to eliminate for me because I am thinking what I am thinking. For that thought process to be explained, it takes some time. So it has taken longer because I was explaining the solution to you, not because I was solving it, right? Solving this question would take, again, in my view, about 40-45 seconds, right? Option 1, 2, 5 are eliminated easily in my view. Only a little bit of contemplating is required between 3 and 4, which is again very easily sorted. So option 3 is the answer to this question in my view. All those who had marked 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 are wrong. Option 3 sounds the best answer among the given options. Okay, so 3 is the answer. 25 to 30 seconds is maximum, right? Now I'm sure many of you would want me to explain why 4th option is wrong, and that is the reason I gave a numerical explanation there with numbers so that you can easily follow. Should we go for the next one? Amanjot Singh, by the way, so okay. Amanjot Singh says, explain 4th option in Hindi. I mean, let me just read his comment fully. He says, can you explain 4th option in Hindi? Okay, so for Amanjot Singh and others who have not understood, let me explain the 4th option in Hindi. He says, 4th option in Hindi, right? He says that cost of manufacturing clothes in India is comparable to the cost of manufacturing them in China, from which they are imported. So basically, option 4 says, कि इंडिया में जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट है क्लोथ्स की और जो चाइना में कॉस्ट है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग क्लोथ्स की, ये दोनों कंपैरेबल है. इन दोनों को कंपेयर किया जा सकता है, राइट? आई मीन द टर्म कंपैरेबल हियर वुड मीन they are nearly the same. It's not that there is a huge I mean, there's no too much of disparity there, right? These are comparable. You can compare 20 with 22, right? 20 with 21. You cannot compare 20 with 100. अगर इंडिया में 20 रुपीज कॉस्ट हो और चाइना में 100 रुपीज कॉस्ट हो तो हम नहीं कह सकते कि कंपैरेबल है. कैसे कंपैरेबल होगा? 20 रुपीज एंड 100 रुपीज इज डिफरेंस. बट इंडिया में 20 है, चाइना में 21 है, या चाइना में 19 हो, देन वी कैन से कि हाँ कंपैरेबल है. सो कंपैरेबल, आई थिंक द टर्म दैट टर्म इज इंपॉर्टेंट. कंपैरेबल का मीनिंग यहाँ पर ये है कि दोनों कंट्रीज में कॉस्ट इज नियरली द सेम. नाउ माय पॉइंट इज, अगर कॉस्ट नियरली सेम है तो इंडिया से ही खरीदेंगे, राइट? व्हाई वुड वी इंपोर्ट इट फ्रॉम चाइना? बट स्टेटमेंट में दिया गया है कि चाइना के इंपोर्ट्स सेम रहे. कॉस्ट डबल करने के बाद भी चाइना से इंपोर्ट जितना हमने किया था लास्ट ईयर, इस ईयर भी उतना इंपोर्ट किया. क्यों करेंगे? जब कॉस्ट सेम है तो इंडिया से ही खरीदेंगे, राइट? सो दैट इज द रीजन ऑप्शन 4 को हमने एलिमिनेट किया था. ओके, शुड वी गो फॉर द नेक्स्ट वन? लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑन योर स्क्रीन्स नाउ. So try this now. See what it says. There's an alarming trend of skewed sex ratio against women in India during the past decade, and the situation may go out of hand if adequate steps are not taken to stop female feticide. So he's talking about an alarming trend, a trend which is disturbing, right? Disturbing as in it needs attention. You have to pay attention to this, right? So what is the trend? Skewed sex ratio. Now you understand what is sex ratio, right? Number of females per 1,000 males. That's how sex ratio is defined, right? So the sex ratio against women in India is skewed. Now skewed meaning it is gone for a toss. It's not right? It is incorrect. Nothing like incorrect, but it's not in the right range is what it means, right? So that sex ratio against women in India is skewed during the past decade, in the last 10 years, and this situation may go out of hand. Right, it will further go out of hand if immediate attention is not paid to it, or if adequate steps are not taken to stop female feticide. You understand female feticide, right? I mean, very popular as in impopular, I would say. Impopular, what is that called? Impopular trend, basically. So if adequate steps are not taken to stop female feticide, right? When you kill the female fetus in the womb itself, right? So which of the following can be an effective step to reverse the trend? If you want to reverse the trend, what should be an effective step? 3 steps have been given, and then options have been given which are a combination of these steps. So I'll give you maybe 30-45 seconds to try this. The clock starts now. Now I'm sure this question also would draw a lot of argument, because the point of view need not be same, right? Your point of view and others' point of view could be different. So let's see. Option 3 is right. Some of you say all are right. Some of you say only A and B are right. Some of you say only B and C are right. So confusion, right? Think about it, and then decide, right? Don't jump to conclusions. Done? Okay, I think I've given you enough time, and I can see that mixed response has come, right? Some of you say 4, others say it's 3, right? And some feel that it's 2, only A and B, only B and C, all A, B and C. I think the toughest competition is between option 3 and option 4. Option 3 which says only B and C, and option 4 which says all A, B and C. So let me explain this to you now, right? Let me quickly read it out first. So you have understood the first part, right? I've explained the statement already. There is an alarming trend of skewed sex ratio against women in India during the past decades. In the last 10 years, we have found that the sex ratio against women has skewed, right? Less number of women per 1,000 males. That's what is, the meaning here. I mean, what is sex ratio? Number of women per 1,000 males. So that has got skewed because because female feticide has not been under control, and this situation will go out of hand if we don't take any adequate step now. So what should be the effective step to reverse this trend? Look at the 3 steps given here. A, the government should immediately completely ban the use of scanners or sonography on expecting mothers at all health centers. So that's one step given here, that the government should immediately completely ban the use of scanners or sonography on expecting mothers at all health centers. Now, I would like to draw your attention to a word here, completely, the word completely, because this is the deciding factor about statement A. Look at the next one, statement B or step B. Step B says that the government should announce a substantial incentive scheme for couples who have at least one girl child. So this is, I hope you have understood the step A, right? Step A says that government should completely ban the use of scanners on expecting mothers, on pregnant women at all health centers. They should not allow the use of scanners at all, or sonography should not be allowed. Step B tells us that the government should announce a substantial incentive. They should announce some incentive for couples who have at least one girl child. So if you have a girl child, at least one girl child, there should be some incentive, right? Some incentive. So this would help probably, because then people will not go for female feticide. I mean, maybe that incent which is being provided will be helpful, right? And step C says that the government should launch a nationwide campaign to create awareness against female feticide. Now clearly C is in favor. It is an effective step, right? You should launch a campaign to create awareness against female feticide. So we should create more and more awareness that female feticide is not correct, and that will change people's mind and perception. So C definitely looks okay. B also looks okay. The question is about A. B and C look okay, right? See, only A is incorrect. If you have to eliminate the options, only A is incorrect because B definitely is a effective step and C is also an effective step. So you cannot say only A. You cannot say only A and B also, because C we have already decided. See, B and C there is no doubt. B and C definitely are in favor in announcing a scheme, incentive, and doing a nationwide campaign is in favor. So B and C are definitely there. The question is about A. The question is about A. And that's what we'll decide, right? That's what we'll decide. Only B and C or all A, B and C. Now, I would say that A is not an effective step. A is not an effective step. Understand, I had highlighted the word completely there, right? It plays a key role. If government completely bans, if they take such an extreme step, this is an extreme step because they're completely banning the use of scanners and sonography. Now, a complete ban, it's like a blanket ban, right? I mean, you completely make it, you prohibit that. Is it really effective? No. See, what is in favor because of that ban is that people will not be able to decide the sex of the fetus. Is the child going to be male or female? That cannot be decided, and hence they will not do, they'll not, female feticide may come down because you don't know whether the child is male or female till it is in the womb. But the disadvantage, and a big disadvantage, is that if you completely ban it, how are you going to take care of the health? You see, and if you understand, sonography plays a key role during the pregnancy, right? During that gestation period, because you got to, regularly check the status of the fetus, how healthy, is the growth proper or not, etc. Right? Or let's say if there's some issue, how would you know what the problem is if you're not allowed to scan at all? So I think a complete ban is not the effective step. You may say that, determining the sex of the fetus is banned, which is of course a rule in the country, right? Sex determination is not allowed. But completely banning scanners is too extreme a step to be taken. Yeah. So that is the reason I would say A is not an effective step. It should be B and C only, and hence my answer would be option 3. And I'm stressing on the word my answer. I feel it should be B and C, only B and C. You cannot go for A, B and C, all A, B and C, because A is a complete ban, which is not the right thing to do. Okay. So all those who felt option 4 is correct, all A, B and C, I hope you have understood that. Yeah, like Mukesh has pointed out, scanning is also done for verification of health condition of the child. Yeah, the fetus basically, not the child. So that eliminates option A, not option A, but the step A. So only B and C is the answer. Should I present the next one now? Chalo, one more question. This is about course of action. You have 30 seconds for this. Let me read out the directions first. It says in each question below, a statement is followed by 3 courses of action and is given numbered 1, 2 and 3. A course of action is a step or administrative decision to be taken for improvement, follow-up or further action in regard to a problem or a policy, etc. Now, on the basis of information given in the statement, you have to assume everything in the statement to be true and then decide which of the suggested course of action logically follows. So course of action is one more test of critical reasoning, right? It is a test of your reasoning skills. So what course of action should be taken for a given situation? Situation is nothing but the thing given in the statement here, right? And it should be considered to be true. It should be considered to be true. Everything in the statement should be assumed to be true. So based on the statement, which of the courses of action here logically follow is the question. So try this out. You have 45 seconds. Your clock starts now. Option 4 is what most of you have marked for this one, right? Okay. Yeah, I think many responses have come in. Option 4 is what seems to be acknowledged as the right answer, right? Almost all of you have marked option 4. So let's go through it now. See what it says. Yeah, and we have some very highly knowledgeable persons also in the chat, I guess. To name one, I would say Ankit Singh is very, very knowledgeable. I would request the team here to, maybe ban him from these sessions so that, he doesn't need to join these sessions, I guess. He's too smart to answer these questions. Okay, let's look at the solution now. So the question now, it says the chemical factory in the city has suffered an explosion and leakage of some chemicals are suspected. Many employees died and got seriously injured. So that's the condition, right? There's a chemical factory in the city which which suffered an explosion and leakage of some chemicals are suspected. right? So many employees died and got seriously injured. So now what is the course of action to be taken? What should be the immediate action that the administration department should take up to, you know, curb this situation? Now, action 1, the municipal administration should immediately evacuate everyone from the immediate vicinity and harmful range of chemicals. Yes, there should be a course of action. You should immediately evacuate everyone who's in the vicinity of that factory, and you know, who are in the vicinity of those harmful range of chemicals. The owner of the factory should be immediately arrested and punished. Now, this is not an immediate course of action, right? Punishing the, you know, one who's at fault is not the immediate action to be taken. You should first ensure that the situation is brought under control, right? You don't really know if the chemical factory has suffered an explosion because of the owner. Just because there could be it could really be an accident also, right? It need not be the fault of the owner. So this is not a course of action. And the disaster management team should quarantine the area and stop the leaks, preventing further accidents. So this also is a good action, right? I mean, immediate course of action. The disaster management team should quarantine the area, which means they should what do we say? They should freeze that area and you know, stop the leakage, preventing further accidents. So 1 and 3 are the right courses of action, and option 4 then seems to be the right one. And I think I can jump to the next one. All of you had marked option 4 for this one, so no need of further explanation. Here's the next question. Try this quickly. Again, similar question, statement with courses of action. Got the answer to this one? All right, option 2 is what most of you have marked. Let's look at the solution now. See what it says. The statement here says that recent reports shows that consumption of fishes caught from the eastern coast of Meluppuram is causing stomach-related diseases and food poisoning. An investigation revealed that the fishes in the region eat a fungus whose residue in the fish body is causing the illness in humans. So this is a clear statement, right? It says that recent reports have shown that consumption of fishes from a particular coast is causing stomach-related disease, and it is causing food poisoning. And investigation tells us that these fishes eat a fungus, and the residue of that fungus is left in the body, which is causing the illness in humans. So this is what has been the situation. Now, what should you do to control this, right? Now, the fishermen should be advised not to fish from that region and go to areas without such fungus, which is a good course of action, right? The fishermen should be advised that, boss, you should not be fishing from this region because there is some problem here, and we should ask them to go to areas without such fungus, where there is no such fungus. So this is a right course of action. Immediate health support should be given to the affected people and make everyone aware of the situation. This is also a right course of action, right? You should give immediate health support to those who have got affected by this disease and food poisoning, right? And everyone should be made aware of the situation. Look at the third course of action here. It says that use chemicals to kill the fungus and start fishing from the region again. Now, this is not the right course of action. This is not the right action to be taken, because when you use chemicals to kill fungus, you are also harming the other bodies in the ocean, right? Other bodies in the water there. You getting it? When you're trying to use when chemicals are used extensively to kill that fungus, it may also affect the marine life, the marine life of that region. So this is not the right course of action. I think we should create awareness among people, and we should also make the fishermen aware of the situation and advise them to go to some other region. So I think only 1 and 2 is what seems correct. Only 1 and 2 follow. Only 1 and 2 logically follow. So option 2 should be taken as the right answer. Okay. Let's move to the next one now. All right. So this is the last question for the session today, which is based on a linear arrangement. read the data and get the arrangement right. It says study the following information given below and answer the questions based on it. Right? Answer the questions based on it. So he says 7 persons A, C, H, J, N, O and V are arranged in terms of decreasing height values but with random weights. So there are 7 persons A, C, H, J, N, O and V who have been arranged in terms of decreasing height values. Decreasing height values. But with random weights. So data is given here. Try to arrange these 7 persons based on their heights and their weights, and then we can look at the questions. This is actually a 3 marks question. There have been 3 questions associated with this. Let's first do the arrangement and then look at the questions. Done? Just 1 more minute and then we will take up the solution. Okay. Pradeep Kumar says, sir, please say something about it. Pradeep, I am waiting for you guys to solve it first and then I'll explain. 7 persons who have to be arranged based on their heights, in the descending order of their heights, but they have got random weights. Got it? Chalo, let's take it up. Let's not. I mean, I would be glad if you get it yourself, but looks like many of you are getting impatient and I'm better off taking it immediately. So let me discuss the solution. However, I would still say that, you know, more than knowing the answer, getting it yourself is important, right? I mean, that's what gives you the kick. So I'll explain this, but I wish you could have got it yourself. Some of you might still be trying it, but based on the popular opinion, let me quickly solve this. And like I said, this will be the last question of the session today, and we'll meet again day after tomorrow for your session on English language. Okay, so here we go. Study the information given below and answer the questions based on it. Now what is the information? 7 persons A, C, H, J, N, O and V are arranged in terms of decreasing heights values but with random weights. So there are 7 persons, names are given here, A, C, H, J, N, O, V. They are arranged in terms of decreasing height values, right? Decreasing height values but with random weights. So weights are random but heights are in decreasing order, descending order. So 7 persons basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 7 positions. Right. Now look at this. The height of C is 164 centimeter. Fine, height of C is 164. But is it of any immediate use? No. Which position will C take is not known to us. So that is of no use immediately, but we know that height of C is 164. Next point. The height of J, 161 centimeter, is exactly in the middle. Now this is an interesting point, that the height of J is 161 centimeter and is exactly in the middle. Exactly in the middle. So clearly J should be in the 4th position. 3 positions on the left, 3 positions on the right, J should come in the middle position. And what's the height? 161. I think for the sake of simplicity, what I would do is put the names of the persons on the dashes. Let's take the heights below and the weights above, right? So height of J is 161 and is exactly in the middle. Remember, heights are in decreasing order. Heights are in descending order. In descending order, right? So we will now be very clear that C, whose height is 164, is more than 161, right? So C should come on when one of these 3 positions. You getting it? If J is 161 centimeters high, tall, C, who is 164 centimeters, should come before J in this order, right? Keep that in mind. The lowest weight is 55 kg. Now see, lowest weight is 55 does not mean that you'll write 55 kg here. This is wrong, or this could be wrong. Remember, weights are random. Weights have been assigned randomly. Lowest height does not mean that the weight is lowest. You're able to follow. So all those who have put 55 here in the last position should be careful. Lowest weight is 55 does not mean that the person is in the last position. That person could be the one with the highest height, the tallest height. Okay, so be careful, don't be in a hurry. All the weights are in multiples of 5 kg. Now this also is an important point. All the weights are in multiples of 5 kg. You can already see that this weight is 55 kg, right? All the weights are multiples of 5. So 55, 60, 65, 70 and so on. Okay. Now read the next point. O is not the shortest, but its weight is highest. O is not the shortest. O is not the shortest. Means what? O cannot come in this position. See, this is the shortest position, right? This is the tallest guy, shortest guy. O cannot come in this position because O is not the shortest. But its weight is highest. The weight is highest, right? The weight of O is highest. Okay. Now what is the highest weight is also not known to us. The heaviest weight is not known to us. Lowest is 55 kg. Lowest is 55. Heaviest could be anything, 100, 150, 200, you never know. Next, H is shorter than only 2 persons. Now these points are important. H is shorter than only 2 persons. Understand, H is shorter than only 2 persons, which means H has to come in this position. You see, you have arranged the persons in decreasing order of their heights, right? So if you put H in this position, H will be shorter than number 1 and number 2. These are the only 2 persons whom H is shorter than. Otherwise, H is taller than all the other persons. You getting it? H is shorter than only 2 persons means what? H is third tallest. These statements have been explained very clearly in our TalentSprint videos. You can refer to those videos if you want. H is shorter than only 2 persons. H is shorter than only 2 persons means H is the third tallest person. So when H comes in the third position, these are the 2 persons who are taller than H, or H we can say is shorter than these 2 persons. Only these 2 persons, right? H is taller than the remaining persons. H is shorter than only these 2 persons. So we can fix H in this position now. N's weight is 65 kg. N's weight is 65 kg. Now where is N is not known to us, so just leave it. The lowest height is 157 centimeter. The lowest height is 157 centimeter. Lowest height is 157. Lowest you know is this position, right? Lowest in terms of height is this. So this should be 150 centimeter. The person with 80 kg weight is the tallest. The person with 80 kg weight is the tallest. Who is going to be the tallest person? The one who comes in this position. And that person has got 80 kg's weight. Remember, the weights are on top, heights are at the bottom, names of the persons are in the middle. So the person with 80 kg weight is tallest. So the tallest person will be 80 kgs heavy. C is shorter than only 1 person. Now this is also an important point. C is shorter than only 1 person. She is shorter than only 1 person. Means what? C is shorter than only 1 person. See, like in the previous point, we had understood that H is shorter than only 2 persons. So H came in this position. C is shorter than only 1 person means C is shorter than only 1 person. C is second tallest. So C has to come here. Now it becomes right. C is shorter than only this person. This is the tallest person. C is the second tallest. C is shorter than only one person, means C is second tallest. C is shorter than only this person, the one who comes here. C is not shorter than anybody else. C is shorter than only this person. So these are the important points, right? H is shorter than only two persons, C is shorter than only one person. So now it's fixed. I think in the first statement he said the height of C is 164. Height of C is 164, right? So I can say this is 164. Height of C is 164. Okay. Next point. V's weight is 70 kg, which is 5 kg less than H. V's weight is 70 kg. Now where is V is not known to us, but V's weight is 70 kg, which is 5 kg less than H. So can I say H's weight is 75? See, 70 is 5 less than 75. V's weight is 70, which is 5 less than H. So H should be 75 kgs. So I can now put that H is 75 kgs. You getting it? So indirectly we have been given the weight of H. N is longer than both persons who have highest weight and V. See, now understand, like in the previous points we have understood H is shorter than only two persons. C is shorter than only one person. Now he says N is longer. Longer basically means taller. Longer is not the term to be used. Taller. N is taller than both persons who have highest weight and V. So basically N is taller than both the persons who have highest weight and V. N is taller than two persons, the one who has got highest weight and V. Right? N is taller than both the persons who have highest weight and V. So can we say N comes in this position? Because N has to be taller than two persons. See, this is the shortest person, second shortest person. So N has to come here because N is taller than both these persons. N is taller than both these persons. Yes or no? Yes or no? See, if you otherwise if you are confused, let me just clear N from here. Understand, where can N come? We know that N is taller than two persons. N is taller than two persons, at least two persons. So definitely N cannot come in the shortest position or second shortest position. N should come here or here. These are the two positions available for N. But can you take N in this place? No, because one of the earlier statements said that N's weight is 65 kg. We know that the person who comes here will be 80 kgs. 80 kgs heavy. So N cannot come here. So the only possibility is N has to come here. Why can't N come in these two positions? Because N is taller than two persons. The one who has got heaviest weight and V. So N cannot come in first and second position from the shortest side. And yes, N is 65 kg. So put 65 here. Okay. Now, yeah, N is taller than two persons. So clearly one of these two persons is V and the other person is the heaviest person. J does not have lowest weight. J does not have lowest weight. So what is the lowest weight? 55 kg. J does not have lowest weight. So lowest weight, meaning 55 cannot come here. 55 cannot come for this position because J does not have lowest weight. Next point, there is a difference of 9 centimeter between the person highest in height and the person highest in weight. Now the person highest in height is this. The person highest in weight is not known to us. So basically in the first reading of all the statements, we have got so much of data. Now let's do the remaining part. So what we'll do, read the statements once again very quickly. The height of C is 164. Yes, height of C is 164. Height of J is 161 and he's exactly in the middle. Yes. The lowest weight is 55 kg. The lowest weight is 55 kg. The lowest weight is 55. Achha, who are the persons left out by the way? C, H, J, N. C, H, J, N are fixed. A, O and V are left out. A, O and V are left out, right? Lowest weight is 55 kg. Lowest weight is 55 kg. Where will the lowest weight come? Now clearly the lowest weight will either come for yeah, it can come here or it can come here or here. There are three possibilities. So we'll see what can be done. All the weights are in multiples of 5, which is fine. O is not the shortest, but its weight is highest. Okay, one important point to be noted here is, see, there are 7 persons. I think this point is useful. The lowest weight is 55 kg. There are 7 persons. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6 and P7. Try and understand. He says, let's assume these are the persons in the order of their weights, right? Ascending order of their weights. So lowest weight is 55. Lowest weight is 55. Lowest weight is 55 kgs, right? Lowest weight is 55 kgs, right? Now, if you understand, all the weights are multiples of 5. One more point which was given to us was all the weights are multiples of 5. So lowest is 55. If I assume that P1 to P7 are in the ascending order of their weights, this should be at least 60. Next multiple of 5, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. Understand, even if we take consecutive multiples of 5, starting from 55, what will be the order? 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, which means the person who has got heaviest, the person who has got highest weight should have at least 85 kgs of weight. Should have at least 85 kgs of weight. I know that O is the heaviest in terms of weight. O is not the shortest, but its weight is high. Its weight is highest. O's weight is highest, which means O should at least be 85 kgs. See, O can be 90, it can be 100, but minimum 85. Even if I take consecutive multiples of 5, I'm getting that the minimum highest weight should be 85. It can be 90, 100, whatever. It can be 150, it can be 200, but minimum it should be 85, because heaviest person will be at least 85 kgs according to this sequence, if I take all the consecutive multiples of 5. And who is the heaviest person, by the way? Heaviest person is O. The weight is highest, right? Heaviest person is O. Now see, can O come in this position? No. Why? Because this is only 80 kgs. I know that O should be at least 85. Can O come in this position? No. This position is not for O. So O has to come here. Out of the two positions, out of the three positions, if two are ruled out, then definitely O has to come here, right? So O is also done. Now, A and V. Understand, in one of the earlier points, we discussed that N is taller than the ones who have got highest weight and V. Highest weight and V. N should be taller than V. And since we are putting the heights in descending order, V has to come here. There is no other choice. There is no other choice, right? So V comes there. And then A comes here in the first position. So done. We have arranged the persons in terms of the descending order of their heights. A, C, H, J, and O, V. In terms of weights, we also know that the lowest weight is 55 kg. So V will be 55 kgs high. V will be 55 kgs heavy. If V is 55, see, the other hidden information is we know that all the weights are multiples of 5. All the weights are multiples of 5. So if this is, we cannot say anything about weights. 55, 65, 75, 80. O should be at least 85, minimum 85, right? That we know. We cannot say anything about the weights of C and J, right? Anything given about the weights of C and J? Oh, sorry, I cannot put 55 here. I'm sorry, we cannot put 55 here because weights are random. I'm sorry about that. I thought minimum weight should be at the end, right? No, minimum weight can come anywhere. Sorry about that. Weights are at random, right? Weights are at random. V's weight is 70 kg. V's weight is actually 70 kg. And H's weight is 75 kg. That we have already done. N is taller than V and heaviest person is done. J does not have lowest weight. J does not have lowest weight. So if J does not have lowest weight, 55 cannot come here. 55 can come here or can come here. Can come for C or can come for O, right? I think the last point is still confusing, right? He says there is a difference of 9 centimeter between the person highest in height. Who is the person highest in height? A. And the person highest in weight. Who is the person highest in weight? O. So basically the point is between A and O, the difference is 9 centimeters. But I neither know the height of A and nor the height of O. So I think this statement is useless. This statement cannot be used. Let me highlight. This last statement is of no use because he says the difference between person highest in height and the person highest in weight is 9 centimeter. I know that the person highest in height is A. The person highest in weight is O. How did I decide the person highest in weight is O? Yeah, he has given here, right? O is highest in weight. So the person highest in weight is O. So the height difference should be 9. But for me to fix their heights, I should know at least one of the heights, right? Both the heights are not known to us. So nothing can be done about it. Yeah? Okay, I think C should be 55 kgs. One more important point is C should be 55 kgs. Because O is heaviest, right? O is heaviest person. So 55 cannot come here. 55 is the least weight. 55 does not come for J. So 55 has to come for C. Yeah? 55 has to come for C. So 55, 60, 65, 75, 80. Yeah, we cannot talk about the height of, we cannot talk about the weight of J. Weight of J can be 85, weight of O can be 90, you know. So these two cannot be determined. I think this cannot be determined, this cannot be determined, and all the heights also cannot be determined. Anyway, let's try and answer the questions. With whatever filling we have done here, let's answer the questions. What is the possible height of person H? What is the possible height of person H? See, H is between 161 and 164. H is between 161 and 164. And this is in the sequence, right? So H can be 162 or 163. It cannot be 160. It cannot be 159 also, right? It should be between 161 and 164. So 162 is possible, 163 is also possible. So either B or C. Either B or C meaning either 2 or 3. Either option 2 or option 3. 4 should be the answer. Right? Let's go to the next question. Let's see if we are able to answer the questions. Let's not worry about the missing values, right? Try and answer the questions. Next question. Who among the following is third shortest? Third shortest. Who is the third shortest? N. See, shortest, second shortest, third shortest. Be careful. Don't say that the third shortest person is H. We are going from tallest to shortest, right? So shortest is V, second shortest is O, third shortest is N. So third shortest person is N. What's the last question? Which among the following has second highest weight? Second highest weight. Do we know who is second highest weight? Second highest weight. Second highest weight. Is any information given about second highest? How do we decide second highest? Second highest. Highest weight or highest height? 1 second, sorry. Which among the following has second highest weight? Second highest weight. Second highest weight. How do we know? Highest weight is C, right? C has got the highest weight. That's what we know. Sorry, highest weight is O. Highest weight is O. 50. Should it be J or A? Which among the following has second highest weight? What do you guys think? Who has got the second highest weight? Second highest weight. I think there's some confusion here. Second highest weight. Let me eliminate the answer options. I mean, let's see what can be possible. These are the persons, right? These are the 7 persons. So who has got the second highest weight? Second highest weight. C. C is the lightest, 55. So C cannot be the answer. N also cannot be the answer. See, all these are lesser than 80, right? We know that O is highest. O is highest. So definitely O is more than 80. This is O is greater than 80. In fact, O is at least 85, minimum 85, greater than or equal to 85, right? We have understood. O is greater than or equal to 85. Minimum 85, it can be more than 85 also. So the point is, if O is minimum 80 or 85 and A is 80, CHN cannot be the answers. CHN cannot be the answers. And V also cannot be the answer. So C, H, N, V are ruled out. O is also ruled out because O is highest. We want the second highest. Second highest can be A, can be J also, right? Yeah, because yeah. See, there is a possibility that J has 85 kgs of weight and O has 90 kgs of weight. In that case, J becomes second highest. Yes or no? Or is there any statement which eliminates J? It should be between A and J. Answer should be between A and J, right? Which among the following has second highest weight? A or J? It cannot be C or N. I think A or J. It is either A or J. We cannot conclude that it is A. Yes or no? See, understand what we have taken here. See, nowhere in the question he has mentioned that they have got all the consecutive multiples of 5. He just said that all the weights are multiples of 5. So, in a scenario, in a different situation, let me use a different color to explain that. In a situation, I can say that O's weight is 90 kgs. J's weight is, let's say, 85 kgs. In that case, what happens? J becomes second highest because A is 80, J is 85 and O is 90. O is still the heaviest person, but second heaviest is J and not A. Right? The other possibility could be, let me take a different color. The other possibility can be as follows, that O is, let's say, 85 only and A is 80 anyway. J is somewhere in between. J is, let's say, 60. 60 is not used, right? J is 60. In that case, the second highest person in terms of weight will be A. It depends on the value of J. J can be 85, J can be 60. Both are possible. If J is 85 and O becomes 90, then J becomes the second heaviest. But if J is 60, which is between 55 and 65 here, then A becomes the second heaviest. So we cannot determine in my view. Right? It can be A or J. It can be A or J. Remember, it's not fixed that A is 85 kgs. Don't jump to a conclusion that O's weight is 85 kgs. Is it given anywhere that heaviest weight is 85? No. Nowhere, right? If O's weight is fixed, then I can very easily decide that A is the second highest person. Yeah, is there given anywhere 85 kgs, 85 kgs? No. Lowest is 55, all the weights are multiples of 5. O is heaviest, N is 65, fine. The person with 80 kg weight is the tallest, fine. V is 70, fine. H is 75, that also fine. Yeah, J does not have lowest weight. I think answer cannot be determined. It should be A or J, right? A or J. You getting it? A or J. So I would mark answer as none of them. Option 5, none of this. You understand the point? Cannot be determined. Answer cannot be determined. Right? The confusion is between A, J, O, or it could be J, A, O. See, remember, we know that A is 80 kgs, which is fine. A is 80 kgs. J can be, let's say, 90, O can be 100, possible. In that case, J becomes second highest. Or we can say J has got 65 and A has got 80 and O has got anything more than 85, greater than or equal to 85. In that case, A becomes second highest in terms of weight. So second highest in terms of weight cannot be determined. It should be A or J. Option 5. Yeah. So see, I think some of you have mentioned that the highest weight should be 85 because lowest is 55, and he has mentioned that all the weights are multiples of 5. Fine, all the weights are multiples of 5, but did he mention that all the weights are consecutive multiples of 5? No, even 90 is a multiple of 5. So don't jump to a conclusion that 85 kgs is the heaviest weight. Heaviest weight could be 90, heaviest weight could be 95, heaviest weight could be 120 also. Even 120 is a multiple of 5. Suppose if he had mentioned that all the weights are consecutive multiples of 5, then we can fix that O's weight is 85. O's weight is 85. Why? Because minimum is 55. Then it should be 60, 65, 70, 75, 80 and 85. The seventh person should be 85 kgs heavy. But he has not mentioned that the weights are consecutive multiples of 5. Right? So that is the reason answer cannot be determined. Okay, so with this, I think we come to the end of this session on reasoning for your upcoming IBPS RRB exams. I know many of you would have found these questions to be simple, and I'm glad that all of you got, many of you got right answers for most of these questions. But I think the key lies in understanding the fact that you cannot answer all the questions from reasoning. There is no definite method to answer every question from reasoning. So you would be smart if you choose your questions wisely. It's very, very important that you have to choose your questions wisely. Otherwise, otherwise you may end up wasting a lot of your time. Okay, so pick up the questions cleverly, solve the ones which are easier, right? Which have got a definite method, and then go for complex questions or puzzles like linear arrangements, circular arrangements, floor-based puzzles, etc. There's no definite method. In fact, even coding and decoding, I would say, it has got no definite method, right? You may or may not get the answer. So for anything where you may or may not get the answer should be done towards the end. For anything where you can definitely get the answer, if you follow a process, you should, do it immediately, right? So just keep that point in mind when you're attempting the reasoning ability section from your IBPS RRB exam, or from any exam for that matter, right? Not just the IBPS RRB means exam. So I'm done with this session on reasoning ability. Thank you once again, all of you, for joining us here. You will have your next session as a part of the same refresher series on the 2nd of November, which is day after tomorrow, Thursday at 6 p.m. on English language, and that will be taken up by Sylvia. So I'll like to sign off here from this session. All the very best for your IBPS RRB exam, which is scheduled for 5th and 12th of November, and I hope all of you do well and get a call for the next round. We'll continue to meet through our YouTube live sessions every day at 11 a.m. where we are discussing a winning technique, a simple but very powerful technique from aptitude or reasoning or English, which can help you save some precious time in the exam, right? So we'll meet again at 11 a.m. tomorrow with some winning technique on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our channel to get notified about that session and videos, other videos. And yes, keep practicing. The more you practice, the easier it gets. On that note, I would sign off from here. Keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. Bye.